Today I was listening to a religious sermon about Judgment Day, and the sermon was coming from the viewpoint of the Muslim, and the sermon was talking about regrets on Judgment Day, and a lot of the things that the minister said, kind of made sense. I mean, I don't subscribe to the ideology of Judgment Day being literally like going to a worldly type of court of law. You go into the building, you sit in front of a panel, a jury, and judges or what have you, and they tell you about what you did wrong and what your punishment's going to be. I don't think it's like that. I mean, I think it's all metaphoric, but nevertheless, there's merit in the metaphor because it kind of gives people an idea of how they should actually gauge their conduct and live their life. But sometimes, things get a little bit strange. And the reason why I believe that is because, and I'm going to explain what I mean by strange in a second. And the reason why I believe that is because people preach about living in the light while living in darkness. They live in darkness and they preach about living in the light as if they know and understand what the light is about, but they really don't. At this point, I might even sound like a hypocrite because somebody can, and they have come at me, well, who are you to say who's preaching from the light and who's not? Nobody really. I mean, but at the end of the day, guess what? We all express ourselves in our personal viewpoints as it pertains to life the way we perceive it. But if you think about it, there's a lot of things that can hit you like instantly. And in your brain, you intuitively know that makes sense. Or even the opposite, you instinctively realize, man, that don't make sense. Get out of here with that. And this is why sometimes I think to myself, uh, religion has gone amiss no matter what the religious ideology, whether it's Christian, whether it's Islam, whether it's Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism, because people tend to allow their imaginations to get involved with their religious belief systems. And what the imagination does, it inflates things in a wrong way. For instance, like if somebody's preaching from a vantage point of spiritual darkness, preaching about the light, not knowing the light, they preach from their imagination about the light and what the light is and what the light should be. So they're not really preaching about the light. So I'm listening to this minister preach about the afterlife or Judgment Day, the prelude to the afterlife, Judgment Day. And he said something to the effect, and this is the way I understood it, that you got to be careful while you're living your life here on the planet, on planet Earth, because what can happen, you can take upon yourself another person's sins without realizing it. And then you can go before the Sanhedrin, before the judges on Judgment Day, and they'll say something. And this is, I'm quoting this dude. As your life is flashing before your eyes, all your sins and whatnot, what you've perpetrated, you'll see something. You'd be like, wait a minute, I didn't do that. And he used an example. of what he prolifically watching pornography. He used another example of all kind of things, being a peeping tom, doing all this stuff, and in your heart of hearts, you've done some wrongful things, but you're like, hey, I never did that. That's crazy. I've never been that immoral on planet Earth. And so what he said is that this is happening to you. You took that man's sin upon yourself. You took another person's sin upon yourself. That's why you're being judged for something you literally didn't do. But in life, another person did all those bad acts. Another person did all those bad acts. You found out about it and you mistreated that person. You judged that person or you hurt that person because of those bad acts that he perpetrated. And as a result, his sins were cast upon you. Now you carry his burden into the next stage of life, which is judgment day before the afterlife. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, wait a minute, dude. A lot of the things you said in your sermon made so much sense. And here you go, excuse my French, with the dumb shit. So whenever you question things, whenever something rings a bell like that, a bell, that common sense bell rings that tells you, hey, that doesn't make sense, or vice versa. Whenever that common sense bell rings, listen to it and follow it. And use extreme examples. Use extreme examples and question what these people tell you if something doesn't ring true with your common sense. Use extreme examples because the way I interpret it, it's like, okay, so you're telling me if an individual becomes a serial killer and acts murder of newborn babies, let's breaks into hospitals and just hacks up newborn babies, and over a period of years he's just doing this and getting away with it before he's finally caught. He goes to jail. He goes to jail, and then some criminals, some hardened criminals who have a sense of morality, they don't believe in harming babies, they find out and they deal with this person as hardcore individuals can deal with people. Swift, hardcore justice. Now, you're telling me, based upon what I understand, that these people that dealt with that axe murderer of babies, now they're responsible for the sin of doing what happened to those babies. No, no, no. I don't think so, man. Learn to listen to your spirit, people. I guess that's probably one of the main points of this particular talk. Learn to listen to your spirit. Whenever your spirit tells you, like an individual tell you 999 truths, and then he will interject in that 999 for the 1,000th point, a complete farce, a lie. But he earns credibility as being legit among men because, well, he's got a good record. 999 out of 1,000. Come on. That one bullet point, that 1,000th bullet point, yeah, it's extreme and doesn't make sense, but he's got all these 999 others. Tell you what, read the Bible. God demands 1,000%. 1,000. 1,000. And if that man wholeheartedly believes in those 999 truths that he may have told you. And he also believes in that 1,000 point that was a lie, then he's a deceiver. That 1,000th point is a seed of deceit. And that seed of deceit grows like a tree. I mean, it's basically like the parable about the mustard seed that the Messiah presented in the New Testament. And there's a great possibility, a strong possibility that that one lie out of the whole 999 other truth, that one lie is what he really wanted to get across anyway. That's what he disguised, that one lie that he was trying to infiltrate, to penetrate into your soul, with all the 999 other points. And why is that? Because he's talking from a vantage point, from the realm of darkness, unconsciousness. And the devil will put forth great effort to give you all kind of truth, just to give you one tiny lie. Just because that's all it takes. One teeny tiny wincy little bitty lie can turn into something that's so great, powerfully destructive, that it casts your soul into hell. So keep that in mind. When the voice of common sense talks to you and tells you something's not right, learn to listen to it, prolifically listen to it, because that's really God's messenger, the voice of an angel trying to say, hey, no. Walk this way. This is the right way, the way to righteousness and the way to salvation. Listen to your common sense. Anyway, thank you for listening. Hope you all are well. Subscribe to the Spiritology Television Network on YouTube. Get the book, The Power of Spiritology, and God bless you.